Monster Hunter is a game that has some of the coolest monsters ever known in gaming history, ranging from the dopest looking armor to amazing ecology and lore. I mean, look at this. This is literally the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. But of course, with so many monsters, there are bound to be some that are mid-ass trash. Just straight up underwhelming. And I have found the top 5 worst monsters of all time. But a few things I gotta say before I start the list. I will not be counting small monsters or epidemic life. So, sorry to all the Bullfango haters. And I will only be counting main series monsters. And how the top 5 will work is at number 5 will be a monster that I don't like at all, but I also don't really mind it being there. To number 1 being I wish this monster would die, would end, will never be put in another Monster Hunter game ever again. And of course, everything I say is my opinion. If you don't agree with it, too bad, my opinion's correct. And at the number 5 spot, we got...
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
Oh, I can already hear all the 7 Velkhana fans seething in their fucking seats. Now, I do want to say that I don't think any Elder Dragon is inherently bad, but I do think they all are unique and fit a very niche place in the Monster Hunter world. I also thought it'd be boring if I just had a bunch of like mid and low tier monsters and like no Elder Dragons in this list. And I believe that Velkhana is the worst Elder Dragon out of them all. My biggest problem with Velkhana is its presentation. It's either out here fucking up random little monsters, or it's literally just standing there doing nothing. Like, dog, we know you see us. You know the camera's right there, acting like, I didn't see you there. You shrinky dink light-skinned Elder Dragon. And don't get me started when he genuinely started tweaking out because a gate was raised.
Let me in! Let me in!
Like, you're trash! Fucking freeze it! The whole thing you're known for. Freezing shit. Just do that to the gate. Oh my fucking god. Sorry if it kind of seems like I'm hating on him a bit, maybe too much. But throughout Iceborne, he's just like seeming as this unstoppable force that you get close to him, you'll freeze to death. Like this elegant fucking Elder Dragon, right? And then he doesn't do shit. He just literally stands there. And don't get me even started on his design. Because you look at him like how he is right here, and you're like, oh yeah, he seemed pretty, cool. But just like James Charles, you take all that fucking makeup off, good lord, what the fuck is that? Oh! He doesn't have any, like, defining characteristics. It's literally just ice. The moment you take that off, he just looks like a generic dragon. And some monsters can pull out the generic look very well. I mean, look at Rathalos. Look at Fatalis. Look at Safi'jiiva. Very run-of-the-mill, what you would expect from like a fantasy game. But for them, it works. They have the presence, or they're iconic enough to like have it so, you know, they get a pass. Velkhana literally has none of that. Every time you see Velkhana in a fight, he's literally getting dog-walked out there. And there's no fucking excuse for that. You're losing to Rajang, and his weakness is ice? Nah, you a fraud. A whole fucking fraud. Please, for the love of God, don't even mention the fact that in his original fight in Iceborne, he can shoot through his fucking ice walls. Literally cheating. Went into creative mode and just started doing shit. But to end it off on more of a positive note, his armor is clean. I love the porcelain knight design. Love it. And his skills are good to like a little bit niche. And his special skill is cool, but again, just very niche. And I'd much rather have Velkhana in the game than not in the game, which is why they are sat here at the number 5 spot. Now get the fuck off my screen. It's time for number 4.
You see those fuckers over there? You see them? Yeah.
Right here?
I've always hated the color blue. You know why?
Why?
No reason.
How can you have a top 5 worst monsters list without Azure Rathalos? I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the color blue, and it's literally my favorite color. I also love Rathalos. I think with each game he's ever been in, he gets better and better, with his best iteration being in Rise. But that all goes out the window the moment I see this motherfucker on my map. And I'm really only going to be talking about Azure Rathalos in World, mainly because if I don't like Azure Rathalos in World, where everything is just better graphics, the way you can be able to hunt, it's just the quality of life changes, then I'm sure as hell not gonna like him in the older games where none of that happens. And you might be here saying, okay, well, why Azure Rathalos and not like all the other dozens and dozens of subspecies of other monsters. And it's really simple. It's because the Zerathlos has nothing going for him. Zero, nada, zilch. Literally just went to Photoshop and bam, slapped on blue, and that's it. That's essentially all there is to him. And you can argue, well, that's kind of similar to other subspecies, and it's like, yeah, that is true, but at least with the other ones, they at least have character. They're at least fun. At least it's a little gimmicky. A Zerathlos has no redeeming qualities. I mean, just look at Black Diablos, fucking Violet Misasune, Coral Pookie Pookie. And I know Black Diablos really should be like an actual like variant and not a subspecies, but it's never been confirmed to actually be a variant. So I get that, but you know what? Let's use Black Diablos as an example. Black Diablos is just Diablos painted black. What's so special about that? And I would have agreed with you until they brought him into World, because in World, Black Diablos has a turf war with regular Diablos, and it's not cemented into the code on like who's going to win each time, unlike a lot of other turf wars, because Black Diablos is a female in Heat, so males have to fight the females to decide if they're actually good enough to be with the female. And sometimes, yeah, the female beats the shit out of the male.
My leg!
And you can see that in game with the turf wars. That's more than enough to make him instantly better than Zerathlos. You wanna know what Zerathlos has? What he has that regular Rathlos doesn't? He flies in the air more. That's it. That's the whole thing. He just flies into the air more. So unlike regular Rathlos, where honestly, he's completely fine. He feels balanced. He's on the floor and he's in the air a good chunk of the time, and it doesn't feel imbalanced. A Zerathlos it just never comes down. He never comes down. Even when you break his wings, because of how a Zerathlos is programmed, he will be in the air still, because that's his entire fight. You also might be thinking, but hey, what about Pink Rathian? Pink Rathian is just like a recolor of regular Rathian, right? She doesn't have anything like distinguishing her. And honestly, she really doesn't have anything going for her. She just runs around a bit more, and that's really it. Except for one thing, which is why I think she's better than a Zerathlos. Because with the Rathian, her poison comes from her tail, and because of that, the tail is stronger, so your weapons actually have a higher chances of bouncing off of it if your sharpness isn't high enough. Except for the absolute tip of her tail is a weak point. And the moment that you can cut off that tail, there goes one of her weapons, her poison. And instantly you made the fight even easier because of that. And not to mention, Rathian doesn't really fly, like, pretty much at all. So hitting her with traps, shock, or pitfall is extremely easy because she, again, just runs. That's all she does. She telegraphs her attacks very easily. Whereas Zerathlos, guess what? He's in the air, baby. You can't do shit with those traps. And even with flash bombs, eventually he'll build an immunity to them. Not even mentioning the skills of the armor, which honestly, you can easily debate that the regular Rathalos armor is significantly better than a Zerathlos. There is no reason for you to hunt a Zerathlos at all. Not even close. With that being said, simply just don't hunt this monster. That's all you have to do. But there is one redeeming factor of a Zerathlos that I am thankful for, that I will be internally and outwardly thankful for. It's the fact that there is a cutscene where there is an Azure Rathalos, a textbook definition stronger version of Rathalos going against Seregios, and Seregios is keeping up with Azure Rathalos, meaning that he would dogwash regular Rathalos. And I love that. Alright, that's enough nice things about Azure Rathalos. Let's get the hell out of here, because we got number 3!
You're just a cheap fucking knockoff. Oh, no. I'm the upgrade.
Okay, be honest with me, y'all. None of you even remember this monster existed. I can't even wrap my head around what they were thinking when they were making this monster. What does this motherfucker do? His fight is boring. His design is so, like, uninspiring. Like, what is that? And yes, in that little video, yes, I do think Geratodus is better than this guy, and I don't think it's even close. I mean, look at these designs face to face. And Geratodus is literally just fish. That's all he is. It's just a simple fish. His body shape, his legs, his fins, his head shape, everything screams fish. It's proportionally correct. Although maybe I'm being too harsh, right? Maybe I'm being too harsh. You can't even compare him to Geratodus because Geratodus actually goes in the water. So it makes sense that he looks like a fucking fish. So he has all those fins for no reason. You're moving around in sand, brother. Does Diablos have fins? No, he doesn't. You wanna know why? Because it doesn't make any fucking sense. And not to mention, it's a drone, so he literally has other little fuckers just like him, ugly ones just like him, that come and help. It's like, god damn, bro, I have a limited amount of ammo, please. If you actually wanted to compare him to a similar sand swimming monster, you guessed it, you love him, Nibblesnarf. I mean, look at Nibblesnarf, and then look at this guy. Look at Nibblesnarf's fight, and then look at this guy's fight. It's night and day. Also, it could be like a me thing, but I don't like his armor. Skills or design-wise. Like, the design, like, it's not the most horrible thing, but I feel like others have done it better. Just like Geratodus. And since I'm a gunner, I obviously use bow guns, and his light bow gun is so disgusting. What the hell is that? This guy literally has zero purpose being a monster. Zero. There's nothing there. In fact, the only reason he's here on the number 3 spot is because he's the middle of the road. I forgot he even existed. I literally saw this monster, and then mental flashbangs were happening in my head, and I'm like, oh my fucking god, I remember this guy.
Leave me alone! Akira!
Honestly, this segment's going to be super fast because there's nothing here. There's nothing. It's a nothing burger of a monster. On to number 2.
I'm in.
I'm in too. Oh,
Here, get the hell out of here. We don't like you. We don't like you, Martha.
I am gonna hold you. Bongonga's here for personal reasons. It's also because I think out of all the monkeys, I believe Bongonga's the worst. I don't think his fight is good, and I don't even think the monster's design is cool either. I do like how it's pretty much just like an ice baboon, but both his armor and I'm not sure about his weapons for his other ones, but his bow guns were never good or even look good. But that's not the actual reason why he's on this list. Because those are more just like extra points to why he's not on this list and why I shouldn't like him. The real reason why he's not on here is because I fucking hate his fight. I have no idea what it is, but I genuinely find Bongonga harder than Rajang, old and new. Remember, I'm a gunner, your favorite gunner. In the older games, you don't have pretty much infinite ammo. You can't restock midway. So if I miss the shot because he dies, if I hit a weaker area, or if I have to waste ammo because of the little shits that follow him, then my ammo is just draining, and there's nothing I can do about it. Again, this monster's only here for personal reasons. If you don't really agree with it, I understand. I know some people actually like Bongonga, but for me, he's ass. So honestly, with that being said, I'm just gonna wrap up number 2. He's here for personal reasons. Fuck him. But before we get to the number 1 spot, got some honorable mentions. These monsters I don't really like, but I also don't hate them. I don't think they're phenomenal or even their fights amazing, but again, I don't hate them and I kind of see like the appeal here and there. So we're gonna rapid fire through these bitches. Let's go. Bulldrum, just Bullfango with more health and a little bit more of an annoying moveset. Unacceptable. Get the fuck out of here. Levisioth, I hate its mechanics, especially since I'm a gunner. Even with Pierce, I can't get through anything with that hard fucking shell of yours. Also, stop swimming around, you bitch. Lao Shenlong. Honestly, Lao Shenlong doesn't really do anything. He just kind of moves forward, and that's all his fight is. It's a siege battle, apparently. It's just not good. It's just not interesting at all. Even the design, kind of lackluster, not gonna lie. And then base Palumu. Its fight's a little tedious. I like his design. I like his armor. But I just think Nightshade Palumu is just better. And finally, at the number 1 spot, we got...
Hey! This motherfucker got them big G's! I gotta get out of here!
I don't think anyone deserved the number 1 spot as the worst monster in all of Monster Hunter than Crystalbeard Oregon. Now, I'm gonna be 100% honest. 1,000,000% honest, even. I have not found this monster. And I'm not going to fucking fight this monster because it's ass! And if you're watching this video like me who haven't fought the monster yet, just finish the rest of the video and you'll know exactly why you should not fight this monster. Ever. Don't fucking do it. I know what you're thinking. Whoa, hold on now, Spottable. What about Steel Oregon? Obviously, Crystalbeard is better than Steel Oregon, right? And I have just one word for you, just one. Deviant. That's right, hunters, if you didn't know, Crystalbeard is a deviant. A long line of monsters that are just honestly some of the coolest fucking monsters and variants you'll ever see. Because he's a deviant, you know what that means? He's actually one of the endgame monsters. Not the hardest, but just he's more up there towards the end and stuff. Especially since you have to keep on leveling up your fucking permits to fight an even stronger goddamn version of him. So let's go down the list on why you should never, ever fight this monster. First one, let's actually talk about his fight itself. It's just regular Uragaan. That's it. That's all it is. Every single deviant has such an amazing, different fight. It's challenging, it's different, it's spectacular. Uragaan is nothing. He's just Uragaan. Don't get me wrong, I actually do like base Uragaan. I don't like this motherfucker. He's not Uragaan. How dare you fucking stand where he stood? And let's go back to the permits just really fast, because yes, you need permits to fight this guy. This is not a guy who you can just randomly fight, because if you don't do something to get the permit in the first place, you'll never be able to fight this guy. And honestly, that's actually probably a good thing. But in case you do, for whatever reason, want to fight this motherfucker, you do have to get the permits, which means you have to go fight regular Uragaan and do that first. And once you beat him, you're like, oh, that's it? It's like, no, that's not it. It's not over yet. And if you don't know, the thing about deviants and their armor and weapons is that you have to continuously keep on fighting them, the stronger and stronger versions, to upgrade your weapons and armor. So in order to get the full capacity and potential of your armor and weapons, you have to fight them how many times? Actually, I've never done this. Hold on, let me look this up real quick. 6 quests to get any value out of his equipment? Holy shit. Oh my god, I almost fucking fainted. No way you have to fight this monster that many times. There's no shot. There's no shot. There's no way. And oh, don't think that's how many Uragaan you have to beat, because although I haven't been Crystalbeard Uragaan myself, I found other deviants, and I know for a fact that one or a few of them even, of these permits, you have to fight multiple of them at the same time. Or at least they're like on the same map. And with each one, they're getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And guess what? Crystalbeard, even though he's getting stronger, whichever one, he's not getting better. That doesn't make him better. Here's a little nugget of information if you guys don't know. I'm a bow gunner. I'm a gunner. I don't have the pleasure of having infinite sharpness just with whetstones and stuff. I can't fucking do that. In these older games, you don't get the luxury of restocking like in the newer games. Which means I have to fight fucking 2 Crystalbeard Uragaans, 2 of them, potentially run out of ammo, just pretty much just shanking them with my gun at some point. Because I will run out of ammo, I know I will. All to get a permit to then fight a stronger version of him. For then armor and weapons I don't even want. Actually, speaking of armor and weapons, let's go right to that. First off, not even gonna lie, not gonna hold you. Little break from the negativity. The armor itself does look cool. I think it looks neat. I think it's actually better than base Uragaan and others. Now, right back onto the hate train. This guy's armor skills suck donkey dick. At most, they're kind of quality of life good, and at worst, they're literally useless. There isn't a single actual contributing attack factor into any of these armors. I mean, I guess if your arts does help you do damage, I guess that could be good. But I'm not sure about you, but I don't use the arts a lot. They're useful, they can be in a little jam, but the moment you use them, guess what? The skill is no longer valid. It's no longer valid till you fucking build up the bar. Like, individually, these skills are not horrible. They're not like god awful. Individually, these skills are not. And altogether, you might be thinking, well, if they're not bad individually, altogether, they should be actually good, right? And you might be thinking, yeah, I mean, like, sure, right? Again, one word though, deviant. You have to be an endgame monster to get these skills. And there are tons of different deviant monsters that have way better skills than this guy, who are actually fun to fight, who actually look cooler. And it's not like you can just do the first permit and you get all of these skills. Okay, well, you get the other ones except for the crystal one, right? But that's the whole point of fighting these guys, is that you get the extra benefit of like these 3 extra skills, which is a big deal because back in the day, you didn't get a lot of skills. You didn't get like 2 pages of skills. It took a lot to get like 4 skills. Another thing that actually pisses me the fuck off is what Crystalbeard Uragaan even is. Can you tell? Can you tell what he is? I'm pretty sure you can guess it. If you got 2 fucking neurons in your brain, you can figure it out. Pretty much it's just Uragaan with crystals on his face, and apparently, I'm not sure if this is like completely confirmed or not, but it's like very theorized that like crystals and ornaments like help with like getting a mate and stuff. So like Crystalbeard would be like the most like beautiful and like #1 pick for female Uragaans, supposedly. But you might be thinking, okay, well, like, how did he get the crystals? What's different? Like, what's different from him than everyone else? Because remember, it's a deviant, which means there's only one of them. It's a very extreme, unique case. So how did Uragon get this? That's a good damn question, because honestly, I don't fucking know. I tried looking it up and I couldn't find anything. But the fact that it's not like all over his body, it doesn't affect really anything. It's not even like on his stomach. It's his beard and a little bit on his tail. So you know what that fucking tells me? That fucking tells me that this guy just like tripped on some stairs and landed on like a crystal vein mine.
Oh, nigga! My ears!
And then now he's a fucking deviant. Now he's a deviant. Like how stupid is that? And he's not even cool. Like some of them have like very, very basic reasons for why they're a deviant. Like literally one of my favorite ones right here. Red Helm Azeros. Fucking fight me. I like him. I like the idea that it's an Azeros that is just super old and done with everyone's shit, that if a Rathalos came to him, he'd smack that motherfucker down into the ground. And then I gotta look back to this motherfucker. Oh my god, I don't want this motherfucker on my screen. You're telling me that because you have that, because you have the crystals, you look phenomenal. You get all the bitches. You got so many Uragons lining up to mate with you. You're telling me that? Nah, sorry to bust your bubble. Wait, I'm not. You get no bitches with that shit. No hoes, no motion. That shit looks ass. Like you got it off fucking Temu. And if I chipped away at those crystals, guaranteed, I'm gonna see some kind of rust. I'm gonna see something on there and show me that it's fake as hell. Just like you. Fake. Such a trash monster for no fucking reason at the end of the game. You have no right to be even categorically correlated with these kings over here. You fucking limp dick, no hoe having, bitchless Uragon. Shut the fuck up. He's the worst. Okay, my bad. I kind of started to get a little heated there. My bad. I'm sorry. I apologize. A little unprofessional. A little bit. Well, that's it. That's the top 5 worst monsters in all of Monster Hunter. This video took a while to make. So if you liked it, please, for me and for every actual good monster out there, hit the subscribe and the like button. It shows me that you like these kind of videos and it gives me the motivation to make more like them. With that being said, I will see you in the next video. Stay safe, my hunters.